Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. Just a quick video because we've got a couple of new new blooms or brooms, whichever. And we got some things to come that have been sneaking up on me, like some Miltonia buds coming on, some brassica buds coming on. It's just I've been watering the pots. I've been noticing these things. But what I wanted to show you was this little bulbophyllum. Now I'm going to have to play my focusing on the, hang on, let's get that glass behind, that'll be a better backdrop. See if I can get this thing to sharpen up. Because this warrants quite close inspection. These are incredibly attractive blooms, but they're tiny. Absolutely gorgeous little blooms, but tiny. And sometimes tiny is good. Now under normal circumstances, blooms that small, the plant would have to go and let somebody else have a go at it. But it blooms every year. It seems to be reasonably reliable from that point of view. And as bulbophyllums go, it grows well. I mean, we've got another one coming on here. There's one here that will be fully open in a day or two. Another one coming up here. There are some others sort of lurking in the background. But unfortunately, it's going to be a staggered blooming because obviously this one's just opened. And that will give me a chance, because I've forgotten, to work out how long they actually last. And then obviously the others will follow on behind. So I think it's going to be in bloom for a while. But it's not a showstopper. You know, it just lurks in the background and it warrants the close inspection, you know, so that's good. And there's another one, which I'll have to get it out. I'll find something to point the camera out. Now this is an old friend that we haven't seen for a while. Miltonia Sunset's back. And this has got a hell of a story, this plant. The plant rotted badly, got the orange rot, pseudobulbs melting and all that sort of stuff, but it had two new growths on it at the time. This is going back a long way, and I took the two new growths off, so it was a single bulb with a tiny little new shoot, and I put them in a tiny pot with moss, and they stayed there for about a year. But finally they grew some roots, and then a while back those two growths, the growths pushed on and another new growth started, and I had a pot full of roots in the moss. So the plant came out of the moss and was potted up properly, you know, in some decent media, and it's pushed on nicely. And the next two growths, one has pushed a spike up. Now it's on a Miltonia Sunset, that's a lousy spike, 2 buds, not good at all. But for a plant that was virtually thrown away and that has taken quite a while to recover, but its recovery was almost predictable. Yeah, there are some plants you sort of put into recovery and they just don't work. Oh, hang on, it's just dawned on me, the TV's on. If YouTube catches that soundtrack, I'll get shot. Right, anyway, so that was the other one, new bloom. And I've always said that colour combination, if you wrote down the list of colours and said, I'm going to make a bloom with those colours, people would say, oh, don't be daft, they won't work. But they do. You know, you've got a sort of brick red colour, some nice purple, lilac-y colours, fading to almost white, pink with, yellow with pink tinges. It's a colour combination that is odd. But nonetheless it works, and for me it actually works great. It's actually a lovely bloom. So yeah, so a couple of new blooms, and that's it. Some mum news. I've just literally got off the phone from my sister, who spent the whole night sitting with me mum. They actually said we recommend 24-hour cover with a mobile phone with access to the family. Because we don't think she's going to make it through the night. So you need to make your phone calls and warn people of what is possibly inevitable. We don't expect her to be here in the morning. So my sister sat with her all night, and blow me, she went to sleep for most of the night. And earlier today, she's had the pacemaker fitted at long last, and that seems to be doing its job. They've still got her kidneys to worry about, which is not yet resolved. But I mean, it's like I was sort of saying to my sister, you know, your heart is the engine. All the other bits and pieces are like ancillary components. When the heart's working properly, any problems with the other components are lessened, just simply because the engine's running smooth again. So anyway, they're still looking into that. She's still in hospital, and my sister's exhausted. So we shall see how it goes. And you won't like this, but I don't particularly want to visit. Now that she's on the mend, I may well go over and say hello. But when it got to the point where it could be, you know, what is inevitable with elderly people, I said to my sister, you're not going to like it, but I want to remember my mum sat at her table with her bay window overlooking her nice garden doing her crosswords. I don't want to remember in the state she's in hospital now. And if I don't see it, I won't have that memory, so I'm not going. And that was my stand, and my sister said, that's fine, you do whatever you want to do. So anyway, I may have to do visiting. I've got a Zoom meeting tomorrow, committee meeting for one of the Orchid Societies, so I'll have to smarten myself up, unlike I did on Sunday. So a bit of mum news. It looks like things are on the mend. They're not right, but they're on the mend. And with the pacemaker fitted, you know, there could be some more years to go. Whereas yesterday evening, it didn't look like there was going to be another 24 hours. So it has been grim, but hopefully it's on the mend. And I'll see you next time. Just a quick video.